Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Media Pulse, a weekly look at how the Thai media cover and analyze major events of the week. And this certainly has been a very busy week for the Thai media and international media.
Yes, our colleagues have been very busy covering political events that unveiled on Wednesday.
I think what keeps them busiest of all is how they are trying to digest the aftermath of the ruling of the Constitutional Court that disbanded Thailand's biggest political party,
The Move Forward
Party, which was accused of engaging in conduct and activities that seek to overthrow the democratic system of governance with the king as head of state and being hostile to the system. And the court made it no doubt that the party was found guilty as charged and then ordered the party disbanded, and all the members of the party's two successive executive committees banned from politics for at least 10 years.
Yes, so there are 44 MPs at the moment at risk of being banned from politics for life.
But judging from the tone and the way that the Thai media reported the event, it's quite evident that they were not surprised by the court ruling. In fact, some of the Thai media even reminded their audiences in their analysis and commentary that they saw writing on the wall back in January this year when the Constitutional Court made its first ruling against a party. And they saw that as a springboard for the Election Commission to seek the last nail in the coffin for the Move Forward Party. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and the mood has been quite calm and collected and very orderly on the side of the supporters.
That's right, because one thing that many people feared would happen did not happen or hasn't happened yet. That is street protests by supporters of Move Forward Party. And this certainly is in big contrast to what happened back in 2020 when the Future Forward Party, the predecessor of Move Forward Party, was disbanded. The party back then was headed by Kun Thanathorn Jingdunlongkit. The party was disbanded and it triggered mass street protests that lasted weeks. But this time around, nothing of the sort has happened yet.
But so they didn't kill them the last time. This time, are they? It doesn't sound like they're going to stop anytime soon because the members of the Move Forward Party just came out on the day after the ruling that they are going to continue that mission.
That's why I think most of the Thai media, many of them anyway, believe that the outgoing leadership of the Move Forward Party should be credited for not trying to turn its disbandment into a rallying cry for supporters to go out on the streets. And in fact, it was Kun Pitha who was very cautious when he addressed the crowd, right? Crowd of supporters at the party headquarters in the aftermath of the disbandment of the party. And Kun Pitha was cautious with his words, and even though he was visibly disappointed and angry deep down inside.
But he's very calm.
Very, very calm and tried to pacify his supporters. And in what would become one of his most memorable lines of the night, he called on his supporters to move on by saying that you can shed your tears, grieve over what happened for a day. But tomorrow, we draw a new line. We cross it and mobilize all our energy and vent our anger in every polling booth. I think it was a very strong message by Kun Pitha that himself and members of the party will continue their political struggle through the ballot box. I think that's a very important message that many Thai media outlets believe that lead to a pacification of his angry supporters.
Do you want to recap into what actually happened that landed them in this position so far in terms of changes that they have proposed to Article 112?
No, back in 2021, the party submitted a number of bills, but they all had the same content, seeking to amend the less majestic law, which the party claimed had been used as a political weapon against the critics or opponents of those in power. And let's take a look at some of the
Yes.
proposed amendments. Yeah.
There are actually many points, but we summarized 4 for you. So let's look at the points that we have prepared, the proposed changes. So the first one included a 1-year jail term or a fine of 300,000 baht or both for defaming the king. So that's about how much in US dollars?
It's about 8.5,
Yeah,
8,500 US dollars. Okay.
And the second one is 6-month jail term or a fine of 200,000 baht or both for defaming the queen, the heir to the throne, and the regent.
Yeah. Under the current Article 112, I mean, the penalty is much heavier. If anyone is found guilty of offending the monarchy, the jail term is between 3 to 15 years. So the proposed changes is certainly a huge reduction of penalties for those who found guilty of violating this article.
Okay, let's look at the next 2. So we have only the royal office is authorized to file lèse majesté charges, which is a drastic change, this one.
Okay.
And
Currently, under the Article 112, anyone can file lèse majesté charges against anyone else. For example, if I hear you say something offensive to the monarchy, I can go to any local police station and file charges against you. And in most cases, police are obliged to investigate or even to issue arrest warrants.
well, I can assure you that that's going to happen. Okay, so and the last one, honest criticisms of the monarchy in the public interest will not be considered to be lèse majesté.
Okay. Of course, this is seen by critics of the proposed amendments as an opening season for whoever wants to harm or do something that offensive to the monarchy.
Okay, and all of this is seen by the Deputy House Speaker then,
คุณสุชาติตันเจริญ
yeah, as in breach of Article 6 of the Constitution.
In short, the proposed amendments never made it into the agenda of the House because they were rejected outright from the very beginning because the Deputy House Speaker, Kun Suchat Tanjalan, back then considered the proposed amendments to be as a breach of Article 6 of the Constitution, which says the king shall be enthroned in a position revered, worshipped, and shall be inviolable. So no person shall subject the king to any accusation or legal action. So basically, I mean, all the proposed amendments by the party were rejected on the onset.
Now, there were 44 MPs who signed, who attempted to amend the 112, Article 112,
right.
isn't it?
So
So they are now at risk.
That's right. Disbanding the Move Forward Party and banning the members of executive committees is not the end of the story yet.
No,
because
not
because as you just mentioned, so these are some of the 44 MPs who co-sponsor the lèse majesté amendment bills were seen on their last days in the House as members of the Move Forward Party. The 44 MPs are facing serious charges. They are accused of serious breaches of political ethics by sponsoring bills that would be seen as detrimental to the democratic system. Now the case is in the hand of the Counter-Corruption Commission, which is entrusted with investigating all the charges against these 44 MPs.
Yeah.
So it's still a toss-up whether or not these charges will finally will end up, I mean, the way that the charges against the party on the charge of trying to overthrow the constitutional monarchy or not. Despite all these challenges, all these charges pending, the party, or at least the remnants of the party, are still moving on, right?
It seems like that, at least, because we have the news that they have even picked a new leader for the new party already.
Okay. So who is the new party leader?
So
Who is to be the new torch bearer of the movement. They call
So
themselves they call themselves a movement
a
now.
movement. Yes. So we have คุณเท้ง นัทพงษ์ เรืองปัญญาวุฒิ who is going to be the third generation leader of the party now, and he's a close friend of คุณ Thanathorn as well, who was the first generation leader.
Kun Nattapong is a very interesting figure. He may not be a well-known name, right, in generally speaking, but he has certainly made headlines with his eloquence in House debates. He is a data analyst. I mean, he's only 37, and so that's still young. But the problem is that Kun Nattapong is one of the 44 MPs of the now defunct Move Forward Party who are facing charges and being investigated by the Counter-Corruption Commission.
So there are a lot of uncertainties still.
But Kun Nattapong is an engineering graduate from Chulalongkorn University and hailing from a family of land developers. Right? And he was an executive as a cloud solution company before jumping into politics, and was elected MP the first time in Bangkok in 2019 under the banner of the Future Forward Party led by Kun Thanathornจึงรุ่งเรืองกิจ back then.
But apart from forming a new party, picking a new leader, is seen as an act of defiance to what has happened to them so far. 2 dissolutions already.
All right.
They've also prepared a video to communicate their message, to get their message across. So we're going to look at the video just for a little bit.
คุณไม่พอใจกับการมีอยู่ของสิ่งนั้น คุณอาจคิดว่าวิธีจัดการที่ง่ายที่สุดก็คือทำลายมัน แต่บางสิ่งไม่ว่าคุณพยายามแค่ไหนก็ไม่อาจทำลายมันได้
เราจะย้ายไปพรรคใหม่ด้วยกัน
ความหวัง ความฝัน อุดมการณ์จะถูกส่งต่อไปไม่สิ้นสุด
พรรคก้าวไกลจึงไม่ใช่เพียงพรรคการเมืองแต่เราเป็นพลังใหม่ที่กำลังจะไปแทนที่พลังเก่า
ความหวัง ความฝัน อุดมการณ์จะไม่มีวันถูกทำลาย แม้จะถูกเหยียบย่ำซ้ำแล้วซ้ำเล่า
สายลมแห่งการเปลี่ยนแปลงได้มาถึงแล้วฝากถึงผู้มีอำนาจถ้าวันนี้คุณยังคิดจะตั้งกำแพงเพื่อขวางความเปลี่ยนแปลงขวางสายลมแห่งการเปลี่ยนแปลงจุดจบของกำแพงมันจะเป็นยังไง
ไม่มีใครฉุดรั้งความเปลี่ยนแปลงไว้ได้ตลอดไป การเดินทางได้เริ่มขึ้นอีกครั้ง จุดหมายปลายทางยังอีกไกล และเต็มไปด้วยขวากหนามแต่ปลายทางของมันสว่างไสว
Okay, we should take notice that the person who appears in the last scene is none other than Kun Nattapong,
Kun
the
Theng.
new leader of the now defunct Move Forward Party, and certainly, I mean, it's a clear act of defiance on the part of the.
They seem prepared.
Of course, this video production was not done overnight.
No, and there are a lot of metaphors in the video. If I were trying to read to it, they withstand calamities, storm, fire, waves, winds, and they're gonna continue.
Yes, right.
Seems like the message.
The video is entitled Unbreakable. So the key message is that no matter what happens to the party, the remnants or whoever remains with the party will continue to fight on.
That remains to be seen.
And that depends a lot on what will happen next week.
Exactly, because we have another court case at Constitutional Court as well next week, this time involving the Prime Minister himself.
I see. And this is a very important case also because it will certainly determine the future of Thai politics. Because if Kun Srettha, the Prime Minister, is considered to have committed serious breaches of professional ethics as charged, then he will be ousted as Prime Minister.
Yes.
And that, in the eyes of many analysts, it would open a political Pandora's box. That means that anything can happen after that, if that is the case.
Yes, exactly. So the prime ministership is at risk, and the cabinet,
Oh, that's
even
it.
the cabinets as well.
So let's see what charges he is facing, Kun Clare. Give us a
Sure.
clear picture.
Sure. Okay, let's talk about Article 170. We have some information for you on screen as well. So basically, it talks about ministerial position, and it can end when I took an excerpt of it. So basically, Section 4 and 5. So the person lacks required qualifications or falls under prohibitions listed in Section 160, which we will look at in a bit. And also, number 5, the person carried out prohibited activities under Section 186 and 187. So we're going to look at 186 in a bit. But Article 160 talks about ethical standards. So a minister must have ethical standards. There's no definition to it, but anyway, it says a minister must not behave in such a way that seriously breaches or does not follow ethical standards. And number 7, this is very important, not have been convicted and imprisoned or have any ongoing litigations or awaiting sentences, except when the wrongdoing is due to negligence, petty offense, or defamation. Okay, so we're going to look at this in a bit. And then we can look at Article 186. So it talks about a minister, again, shall not use their status or position, either directly or indirectly, to interfere with the duty of public servants to benefit themselves, others, or the party in a manner that breaches ethical standards. Again, that phrase, that key phrase.
All right.
Okay.
So all these,
So who breaches which article?
all these centers around a family lawyer of the Shinawat family, right?
A famous lawyer, infamous lawyer, famous lawyer?
Famous or infamous lawyer, Kun Pichit Chunban,
Yeah.
who served very loyally the Shinawat family for years, right? And in April this year, he was one of the cabinet members appointed by Kun Srettha. And the problem is that Kun Srettha is accused of serious breach of professional standard or ethics, knowing full well that Kun Pichit has a tainted history, right? He was sentenced to 6 months in jail for contempt of court in connection with a bribery case, right?
Yeah, it was a bribery case back in 2008. Back then, Kun Pichit was the lawyer of Mr. Thaksin Shinawat, who was, he had a case at Supreme Court involving the land holding purchasing. Now, what happened was Kun Pichit took a snack box filled with 2 million baht, 1,000 baht banknotes, imagine, and he gave it to a court official. So he was found to be guilty of bribing or contempt of court.
All right. Kun Srettha, the Prime Minister's line of defense is that he had consulted the Council of State, the top legal advisory board of the government, about the appointment of Kun Pichit.
Oh, he didn't consult the constitution.
No. Of course, the way he consulted the Council of State was questionable because he didn't ask the right questions. He asked the question that only suited his purpose. And so now the big question is whether or not the Constitutional Court will bind his line of defense. And of course, the Thai media have been busy trying to predict the outcome of the case. And of course, there are two major opposing schools of thought. One is that he would be found guilty because his defense is too weak and because he should have known from the start that Kun Pichit had a tainted record, right?
It's written in the constitution. How can you not read it
No,
as a politician?
No, but the problem with Thai politics these days is that everything seems to be part of the so-called super political sweet deal. The deal whose main actor is Kun Thaksin Shinawat.
Yeah, remember he's connected.
Yeah, the former Prime Minister who is calling the shots in many activities in Thai politics these days, especially in Pheu Thai Party, which is the core of the coalition, right? So if we believe that everything that goes on in Thai politics these days is part of that deal, then it's easier to predict the outcome of the of the case.
True. Yes. Well, Kun Thaksin is clearly connected because he was his lawyer back then.
All right. If the court finds Kun Srettha to be guilty as charged, seriously breaching the political ethics, then Kun Srettha has to go along with the whole cabinet.
Yes.
And that's certainly something that Kun Thaksin may not want to see, right? Because he may believe that his daughter, whom he has been grooming to become the next prime minister, is not yet ready for the job. And why hurry? Let Kun Srettha take all the heat with all these political, economic problems, right? And wait for the right time for his daughter to take the reign. So this is another school of thought on the part of the Thai media that, well, Kun Srettha will survive and then continue with his job, right?
So,
but if Kun
okay,
Srettha doesn't
if not-
survive, then, as I mentioned earlier, it would be the opening of the Pandora's box.
Exactly, because there are a lot of people in the coalition that are looking to this seat.
Yes.
Everybody wants to see it.
I think that is a real challenge. I mean, that indeed, that if Kun Srettha goes, who will take over? And of course, we have been seeing reports in the Thai media about the possibility of Kun Anutin Charnvirakul, leader of Phumchai Thai Party, which is the second biggest partner in the coalition, replacing Kun Srettha.
But you know, Kun Srettha has got one of the best or well-connected lawyers helping him at the moment. So we're talking about Kun Wisanu Keringam.
All right. So, but people have been asking questions that whether or not Kun Wisanu will be that helpful.
Okay.
Okay, so this is certainly the biggest event awaiting the Thai media next week to cover.
And we're going to bring you the live coverage of the event as well on Wednesday,
That's
right?
So stay tuned with us. We start our coverage, live coverage, at around 2 p.m. on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, around that.
And then we stick
Yeah.
to the event until we know for sure what will happen then.
And then after the 14th, we still have the 22nd.
Definitely. All right. All right. When you talk about the 22nd of August, then we cannot avoid talking about Kun Thaksin Chinavat again.
Yeah, well, at least he's got good news this time. He's going to become a free man,
Right.
officially free.
That's right. And then what is more interesting is the fact that he will be invited as a guest, a key speaker
Oh.
at a dinner
I
talk
saw,
event.
I saw a poster.
Right.
I saw a poster.
The irony is that the company that is hosting the event
That's the poster.
is the Nation Group, right? And the event is called Vision for Thailand. It's a dinner talk, and Kun Thaksin will be delivering his talk on this topic. The irony is that Kun Thaksin and the Nation Group have been kind of a sworn enemies. When Kun Thaksin was in power, the nation was quite critical of many of Kun Thaksin's policies and activities. And in return, Kun Thaksin was also very harsh on the Nation Group.
So is that the first-hand experience over there that we're hearing?
That's right, and this only proves that there are no such thing as permanent friends or foes in politics and also in the media. That's right. And of course, but there's still some uncertainties. We have yet to find out whether Kun Thaksin will really show up on that day or not, because there has been some speculation that Kun Thaksin may have second thought about showing up at the event.
Okay. Well, that remains to be seen, and we'll bring you the latest with the analysis as well. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.